Hi, and welcome back to Disco Elysium, where we talk to Tiago, I think was his name. The shadow is a man, but a man made of the same stuff as the carpentry of the building. He's studying you intently. The crab man. Hey, who's there? The man leans forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unready gaze, then speaks.
I bet your alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry. Everything's gonna be alright. You've come to the right place.
The right place for what?
Here you can receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair at the bottom of the bottle.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
I'm put off by this religious stuff he thinks, and maybe the ceiling climbing too. It's all very hard to square with the lieutenant's own view of reality. Hey, what was that about the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay it off already. Sheesh. Yeah, I guess I have a bit of a problem and it's been getting out of hand lately, but...
Kudo, eh? I see deep inside you. Your body and spirit are suffering greatly from overindulgence, and you don't even know it.
How do you know what I'm feeling?
I was like you once, just dragging my feet to the next bottle. Shit was dark, Holmes.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
If the lieutenant agrees, then maybe, just maybe, you should pay attention. Fuck you, crap man, you don't tell us what to do, tell him. For some reason I feel like you have a point there.
Don't trust me, trust the mother. I'm only the messenger, Holmes.
Wasteland of reality. It has been brought to your attention that you're an alcoholic and that it's a sickness and it's killing you. You're crawling on your knees through your life, your booze-filled belly dragging on the ground, your brain now fuzzy, now in overdrive, your hair sticking together with today's cold sweat and yesterday's vomit. Perhaps they're right. Anything is better than this. Even bone-dry reality itself. Maybe you can quit. That's a good thought. Quit drinking thought. Okay, what do we do? What do we get rid of? That's pain threshold. That's too good to get rid of. That's too good to get rid of. Maybe let's wait for Arno van Eyck to finish. Or get rid of the fair weather thing. Or the weird jaw. Or the date of birth generator. It's -1 difficulty to all physical passives. That's not really good. Forget that and get the wasteland of reality. 20 hours. Wow. That's a long thought. Let's get rid of my alcohol usage. That's great.
This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
He sways gently on the beams, waiting for you to take it all in. You have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Is he trying to throw you off your game? 'Tis not an act, my liege, saving perchance he hath deceived his very self. This man is a zealot. You must be the crab man. Never known myself to be a crab, but if that's the name you've got for me, I won't stop you from using it. If you're not a crab, then what are you? I always thought of myself more like a flame, flickering along the rafters and beams. It may be that I gotta work on my technique. That's not the only technique he's working on. Look at those carved sculptures, and is that a satchel of tools over there? Wait, did you also carve all those sculptures? Sure I am. Whittling wood used to be something I just did to busy my hands. Now I use those same hands in service of something greater than my own restlessness. Alright, let's consider the context and meaning here. I see what you've done here. Whoa. It's as if these figures are trying to become one with the church, or perhaps with the mother herself. I'm not doing the thing which is accusing him of objectifying women. He's just doing statues in the church of the mother, and he's doing female statues there. That's the right kind of statue to do here. I see what you've done here. It's as if these figures are trying to become one with the church, or perhaps with the mother herself. It's all just for the mother, man. No need to overthink it. What were you before you became a crab man and a woodcarver? I was in a gangway, but my memories of the time are fading. Most of them are already gone. I lost my memory too, and it haunts me. No, man, you gotta let that shit go, then the mother's light touch will fill you with rapture. Do you remember your name, sir? Lieutenant is not particularly interested in this information, he's just trying to assert some control over the conversation. Tiago is my name, but those syllables don't mean much to me these days. A name isn't just your identity, but also, so to speak, your place among your fellows, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such place anymore. My name's Harry. That's just the thing, Holmes. None of this matters. He ignores your hand and his limbs are a mere shadow below the ceiling. What are you doing here? This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there, way out into nothingness. This church was built around it for purpose of veneration. I circle it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of these days I'll be pure enough to go drink from it directly. Tell me what the mother of silence. Oh, that's no simple question. She is one who can't be painted or sculpted. She is a cavity in the dark beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes, and no one ever will. What will happen once you drink from this perforation? I will be incinerated but not destroyed, finally at one with the state of the world before reality began. That sounds a bit like substitution behavior, no? You know a thing or few about that. You sure you didn't just switch one drug for another? It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service. Too gleeful, those words. He's lying, not to you, to his very own self. Faith is a kind of drug. I've heard that before, and I know I can convince you on the spot, but think, when's the last time you've woke up from a silent communion with a hangover, regretting what you did last night? There are drugs darker than alcohol circling your system. I think love might have been my drug of choice, and I think I'm still hungover from it. She took you for a good spin, huh? Don't worry, bro, that love is but a drop compared to the ocean of the mother's love, and the mother will eat all of you and never spit you out. I guess you have a point? I know it'll take time, don't sweat it. I still don't understand what you're doing in this church. I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory. It doesn't really make sense for you to sing if she's the mother of silence. I don't mean literal singing, Holmes. This is the mother of silence we're talking about. It's the singing of a burning heart. You may be thinking, but firecrackers, no, Holmes. That's the material that's burning. The flames themselves are without sound. How did you even find this place, this church? Hard to say. I think I did some construction work here back when I still had material worries. Up there I realized what the true purpose of this church was. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now, way. It didn't belong to me. I had other questions. You've been here a long time. Do you know where the church was abandoned? Police raid a while back. Did you witness it? Not really, or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The mother's love has done its job. That's what's so great about the mother. It lets you forget about everything. Some ravers want to turn this place into a nightclub. The ones in the tents outside, right? I've seen them. Guessing they're the ones who call me a crab? Probably scared of me. Wait, do they have reason to be scared? No, man, they look pretty funny and they don't harm no one anymore anyway. So what do you think about the nightclub, that is? Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up here imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that reach where I go. Might even be nice to have some company. He said that in spite of himself. He's more attached to the human than he'd like to think. Do you know where the other spooker is? Other spooker, dunno, Holmes. Viejita... Oh, esa viejita muy estudiosa. Dunno, Holmes. Viejita is grandma, yeah. That grandma very estudiosa. She is very, oh, what's the word in English? Researcher lady? Wait, so there is another person living in the church and it's a viejita. No, I just call her viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. Age is just not one. It's just one of the many masks we wear. Wait, what if it's Ruby? The tenant seems to be at least thinking the same. Did it ever seem to you like she was hiding here from something? You mean like a fugitive? He glanced at the abandoned radio computer on the other side of the nave, posing with light. Then he shakes his head. No, man, quite the opposite. I don't think she cares much about authority or anything else for that matter. Maybe only about her machines. I see, and where is she now? I told you, Holmes, I don't know. How can you not know that when you both live here? I don't really follow her coming and goings. Just see her typing on her computer now and then. We've got different interests. So you've got nothing else to tell me? How she looks, what she does, who is she? I'm afraid not, Ease. You have to wait until she comes back, or he shrugs, or search through a radio computer. Okay then, thanks. It's a bottle of tear. And that's pants. No, it's a scarf. Paint threshold scarf. Great. Frost has drawn flowers on the glass obscuring the view. A figure drawn in frost on the window depicting a deer. What's that? That's this, yeah? Yeah. A cracked pane of glass, colorful. A spider has spun its web around the wood-carved pillar. Shoes. Mask bangers, red brogues. Empathy shoes. And money. So let's read about the scarf and the shoes. This huge red scarf is still dusty from lying in the church. A supple red-on-red embroidery embellishes it with cocky roosters and mask floral motifs. These dapper snakeskin shoes have an almost invisible white-on-white flower motif sewn on the tongue. The toe caps are still dusty from lying in the church. And they got empathy for being in someone else's shoes. It's what you said about the griefs. Two decks of rear-to-rear tape spinning on empty. A portable Harman Wolfsheet tape recorder. Is it possible it's recording something? Okay, that's normal interactable. Someone's siphoning electrical current from outside into this antenna. Okay. Let's talk to the window first. In white, silver and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She's impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad, a dark and radiant majesty. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly invisible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel. I kneel. Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. There you kneel among the snowdrifts, diffuse light falling off your hands from beyond the glass. Close your eyes. The world is silent but for the creaks and cracks of the massive wooden structure behind you. It covers you from the wind outside. The ocean feels distance, its ebb and flow blocked off by the centuries-old pinewood sarcophagus around you. In the darkness, you sense her eyes on you, inspecting you with a multicolored glass, as if you're a bug under a microscope. Open eyes. The woman looks down at you kneeling. She towers among her followers, architects, lame and courtiers. There's a sad smile on her lips and a glint in her green-blue eyes of what? Compassion? Remorse? She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. You. It's compassion. As that soft word passes through her mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder. Do the same as you get up. Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times, then you rise from your knees into the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles a distant smile sundered by the crack in the glass. This is Dolores Day. The old woman in the village was right. This must be the Dolorian Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the small Pinewood Church in some records. You knew of this place? It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. He lowers his voice. It was built not long after Revachur's founding, 300 or so years ago by first-generation settlers. What else do you know? There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Soeurs, they call them the 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find the instigator here. Something else, perhaps. Respectful? Is the lieutenant a follower of Dolorianism? A pang of guilt? The lieutenant is leaving something out. Do you know why it was abandoned? I have a theory, right? Yes, there was a police raid a while back. I heard the place was shot to pieces. The old woman in the village was being tactful with us when she didn't mention us. She has more respect for the Elysium than many around here. Who conducted this raid? Well, your station was involved, I hear, although I can't be sure. How come a lieutenant isn't sure? Is this confidential information? You're not sure? 3 precincts were involved in the raid, and people say Precinct 41 was one of them. I guess I could have been here? I'm sorry, I'm not saying you were. It was a clandestine operation. I don't know anything about it, why it was conducted, or who participated. I try not to pry into extra-district matters. If I was here, I should find out what I was doing. Good luck. You'll not get information on confidential information from your station secretary just by calling. If you really don't remember, it might be better to keep this one forgotten. It happened a while ago. It's unimportant to a business in Martinez now. Are you a follower of Dolorianism? Yes, well, we all are. Her name, body and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are Dolorian in origin. I didn't think you were spiritual. It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The Dolorian system does not demand faith, only accordance. So we have an encyclopedia and a visual calculus thing, but we also got a thought done. Arno von Eyck. Also, okay, so Egghead is clearly not Van Eyck in disguise. Van Eyck is an Orange's disc jockey, but those people get around, especially in Revachur and the clubs on Boogie Street. Perhaps he stayed here for a long, short stint and discarded part of the song he was working on, just threw it away, and then it ended up in the hawthorn tree. But why? Did he think it was retrograde? It wasn't. Perhaps he caught a glimpse of the future and did not want for it to arrive just yet. Perhaps the city whispered the top line to him and he was frightened by it. We unlocked all Motorix white shakes, which just give us nothing because all shakes were unlocked a moment ago. Reveals Arno von Eyck gig posters in the world, which I have no idea what that's about. I think maybe every one of those will give me like a little orb to interact with, which will in turn give me 1 XP per click. So let's see. We want first encyclopedia. I don't know if I have encyclopedia clothes. I know that I have encyclopedia glasses somewhere. These ones. It's minus. I could be wearing minus encyclopedia stuff. Nope. But we have -2 from thoughts. Good that we have the glasses to take care of that. How did I know this is the mother of humanism? Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men. Wait, what exactly is an innocence? I've heard of the system. The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the word spirit. A ruler? More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere six times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Royal Belt is built to accommodate innocentic rule should it coincide with our time, and innocence is infallible. And innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway, only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. And innocence is a continuous, compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office. Is one in office now? No, we are alone. When did she rule? 300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this isla, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Mundi. She is, amongst other things, the innocence of inter-isolary travel and the connected world. What else do I know about her? Many things, you know. She was a woman of the court, a wife of an influential marquise, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene la Navigateur, Queen of Surazin, modern-day Sur-la-Clef. Also that she was gorgeous beyond beauty, draped in an ancient sadness. Are you sure you want to remember this bit of historic trivia standing under her long slender form like this dwarfed? Yes, big bummer, boring history, gotta keep it light, man, gotta keep it moving, get fucked up instead. Where's this coming from? The past, it's a silo of sadness fermenting, you should keep away. Fuck this pain, Bratan, it's unhealthy. No, you must know. Okay, what else? Was she smart? Terribly. Women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to men. A similar grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was by all means a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state. A scalpel, a piercing glaze. She was almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time. A messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels, even before she was declared an innocence. Her influence was tremendous. How come? It was on her advice that Irene la Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale, a costly, often tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history, the DeLorean era. Wow. Wow indeed. When her innocence was declared and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest. Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress. This is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the Royal Belt. I want more. As did we all, the lands of Mesk and the Occident and even faraway Supramini, altogether 21 of the 40 mondial nations of the time, immediately accepted her innocentic rule even before her crowning. Her crowning? In a city called Adversperasket in Vesper Messina, her homeland. The name of the city means evening comes, But it happened on a winter's morning with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied-out plaza with a crowd far away. Already her Therias, the Secret Service men of the Innocents, were worried about an assassination attempt. She must have been beautiful. Oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother. Insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. You know this well, very well. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her Therias placed with white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by Secret Service men. Then what? One of the men in the Secret Service killed her 20 years later, a young man who had become to suspect that Dolores Day was not entirely human but something else. What? Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds if not thousands of years until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with us ourselves. The man was reported to have screamed at the innocents. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece. 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm like a furnace, and that sometimes while on duty he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology. Was there something terrifying about her? Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it, but terrifying, it's a simple word. She was bad for humanity, and you shouldn't have started thinking about her. No, was there something bad about her? I want to know. You already do. Although she is often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day, constantly surrounded by her Therias. She was most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the inner senses. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaign she waged against the masked state, and then there were the resettlement programs. What happened? The masked state tried to detach itself from inocent rules. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Humanitarian education programs and mass resettlements of upstream grid were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by military force she called the Army of Humanity, suggesting those who fight against it are not part of humanity. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb. Not in this picture. In icons such as this. She was also blonde, the blondest woman you have ever seen, with green eyes on the color of Pesantic Mare Interregnum. Little is known of her Machi's husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores Day to court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid, and even terrifying that people seldom mention, but feel when they think of her. The subtle terror is part of her iconography. Lieutenant Geffreteur, you've stood there for over 5 minutes, Lieutenant Carnwolf echoes in the cold air of the church. What are you thinking of it, may I ask? She's not human. Okay. He takes his glasses off to clean them, and afterward he says, "This church, the coast in general, we shouldn't linger here. This isn't a good place to get lost in. We should conclude our business and move on." Hey, her innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? Like holding little men between her fingers, remember? What? You have the Headless Fawn Rider figurine. You should give it to her, win her back. I should, yes, this is the task of mine now. So very, very nifty and mysterious. It is surely what the figurines are for. What? Dolores Day was fond of figurines. She deserves more. You should offer her any and all you have one day, if you meet her in person. What an odd task to give yourself, but here we are. If I meet her in person. Is that the last dream we were being talked about? Might be. Visual calculus. Let's see. It's minus. Okay, visual calculus. No minus. Okay. Looks like I can't give this figurine to her. Why? Because she's a stained glass window. That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else? Like what? Is the star still on? I don't know. What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone on to other things already. Only a strange little sadness remains. The mother of humanism towers above you, works painting on the cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression. Reconstruct the cracked glass. A jigsaw of broken shards fall into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a leitmotif below them both. What shattered this mosaic? Unknown. Something during the raid the lieutenant mentioned, or just hooligans looking for something to break? Who's the older woman? The escutcheon on her throne says Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden Reichsapfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the queen her innocence day advised. Above, she herself is whole. Small figures of wise men, common men, worshippers walk up the stairs to stand at her feet. Secret Servicemen, Therias, stand in a row guarding her. It must have taken years to produce this work in all its dizzying detail. The motto, what does it say? Below both women in luminous black letter, Après la vie mort, après la mort la vie de nouveau. And then along the left side, Après le mort le gris, après le gris le mort de nouveau. Lieutenant, this used to say afterlife, death, after death, life again, after the word, the pale, after the pale, the word again. This excitation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years it was even incorporated as the RCM's slogan, no more however. Why? It was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral interrelated motto. We are already suspected of bootlicking. The sentence was also seen as too feminine. It was a mature thing. What's it now? Justice, union, prudence, and force. I like the other one better. So do I. Step back. Okay. Will I meet Dolores Day in a dream, or what's going on here? Let's see what this is. A mainframe. A machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity. Another radio computer, and this time it's already turned on. There's the lieutenant stepping closer. He seems cautious around the machine. These machines sometimes harbor traps, he thinks, alarm systems and the like. Let's be careful. We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case. Yes, but this machine looks just like the one in the doomed commercial area. It's also quite similar to the one we have down at the station. Must be the same model. You inspect the machine's frame rate, careful not to touch anything. This one, the one you saw earlier, was the RAM Civic. This is the RAM Perfect of model number RC7024, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a RAM compatible interim printer. Wait, let me just investigate it. You see the virus and play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. Lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame reflected back from the diamond-shaped glasses. You're free to proceed. Look inside the compartment. Behind the latch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments smoldering on the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says in a black marker, Lock February to March. Another filament memory. Press play to talk to the repeater. Play. The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic drive. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old. Good afternoon, Fortress Accident on Samboon. This is the Eastern This is the same company. Great. This is the Insulindian repeater station 1. Please repeat, is this a personal log? It's the same old woman you spoke with through the radio computer in a doomed commercial area. Yvonne, it's me again. How are you? Good, thank you. Please repeat, is this a personal log? I looked inside the core, but the tape on the filament just said log February to March. Good, please repeat the password. Let's look around, there's no use trying to guess the answer. Maybe he knows something. A password? I'm really bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint? No. Is it my birthday still? No, this the police? Please open this thing. I'm contractually obliged to it's the same thing. I'm afraid we're not doing that unless we want to wait for a month. Now can you please repeat the password? I don't know it. Let's try it again. I think I may have the right password. Fortress accident, like the one in a commercial area? I have 2 machines registered to this company named in Martinez, one in Saint-Brun, the other on the Rue de Saint-Ghislain. Saint-Brun, that's the church, and Rue de Saint-Ghislain, that's the doomed commercial area. Anything else I can help you with? Thanks, I'm finished with the score. Goodbye, Fortress accident. So we had to talk to the guy again.
Oh, hey, wait. There's coffee in the back. Oh, wait. I'm in the mother's love.
Have you by any chance heard the Viejita say the password to your radio computer? Too many times, East, you need it for something. Surveys are a good way to fish for personal information, especially in the name of public safety. I'm doing a survey of passwords and passcodes, identifying regional trends in the interest of public safety, of course. Don't sweat it, Veto. The password is afterlife death. That is true, but what comes after death? What do you think of that? Makes me almost pity la nihilista pequeña when I hear it. The little nihilist. Okay then, thanks. I think we're done here, Ease. He crawls into the darkness above. That was an interesting conversation, however I'm still not sure whether we'll find our suspect here. Okay, we're done with that guy. Interesting. Okay, we have the password now. Also for the other machine. Play. Afterlife death. Good, you've unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Fortress accident, is there anything else I can do for you today? Off. Print. The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal. Read it. The first entry made on the 4th of February 52 by an unknown author is short and concise. Arrived at the church, the door was boarded up, so I used a crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. Lieutenant leans closer, scouring the print out over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath. 4th of February? That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines hasn't been here for a while. Do you think this log might be connected to the case? Our case? No, I don't think so. It must be someone local. Eccentric. Read the second entry. 6th of February. Had a little chat with a local fisherman. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, alright. Still haven't figured out the electricity. Third entry. 7th of February. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, new antenna. I'm thinking Asker series, something advanced. Why would she need an antenna? Why would anyone need any of this equipment here? Read the 4th entry. 8th. Bought the antenna, had some problems setting it up, called Simo for help, heard the others are back to making art, drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor, they can get work anywhere. Graphic design ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused that data loss to be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know, everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right. A data loss? Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author's saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed. Now everyone's thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading. Artist programmers, Lexi? Who are all these people? I think these people worked in the radio computer games business, the one we saw in Doom commercial area. They must be her former co-workers. Read the 5th. 12th of February 52, brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow 8 a.m. The strike, we're nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading, I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place. 6th entry. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in the disappointment, but I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. No need to get some mix. She talking about. The lieutenant looks to his right towards the silent. 7th entry. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the swallow is real and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me there. The pillar of silence. She's talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk? But what could it be? Lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples. 8th entry. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music. One neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work. The disco man must be a cell. She must be describing a cell. The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes. 9th entry. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access the radio computer in our old office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some kind of curse. How Martinez of her. That's me. I was the one who broke into that radio computer, and the storekeeper must be Pleasance. I knew it wasn't a good idea to meddle with that machine. No, it was a great idea. You're learning things. This is how you learn things about machines. 10th entry. A new 2-meter aux cable, noodles, crackers, ping, energy drinks, water, toothpaste, gum, also some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening. Soon other programmers coming in. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer. And this is the point where we stop this episode. We see us tomorrow again when we continue to speak to Sona the programmer. Have a nice day.